Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at Fork, the Kentucky Community and Technical College System president is going on a 16-campus tour across the state, and today he was in Hazard. WIMT's Dakota Makers has more on the goal of the president's visit.
KCTCS President Dr. Paul Zarapata is on an EARS listening tour. EARS stands for Equitable, Agile, Responsiveness, and Streamlined. President and CEO of Hazard Community and Technical College, Dr. Jennifer Linden, tells me system leaders are planning their 2022-2026 strategic vision, saying Dr. Zarapata wants to listen to the faculty, staff, and the community, hearing their ideas and opinions on what direction they think leaders should go in moving forward.
We always want to make sure that we are serving our local community, that we are offering the programs that they want to see, and that we are offering programs that will help our local business and industry leaders and will help grow the workforce.
Now, Dr. Linden says leaders have targeted ideas they are focusing on, but again, she says they are all ears. In Perry County, Dakota Makers, WIMT Mountain News.
Dr. Zarapata will also plant a tree on the college's campus for Tree Week. We'll hear more from the president coming up at 6. A state-based health insurance online marketplace will reopen on November 1st, but you may start comparing options ahead of that beginning October 15th. Coming from the Affordable Care Act in 2010, Connect was first available in 2014 before being dismantled in 2015. Now with help from federal dollars, the service is coming back, and experts say it will be a one-stop shop that is easier to use and cheaper.
You can make sure that you're choosing a health plan that's got local providers. You can punch in, this is my OBGYN, this is my primary care, and shop only for plans that cover all of those people locally.
Stewart added this marketplace is good for any Kentuckian who does not currently have health insurance or anyone who just wants to check their options. Fall and winter are typically what we consider peak flu and RSV season. The viruses are around all year, but spike between the months of September and March since people are usually spending most of their time indoors. But in 2020, flu and RSV numbers hit a record low. Healthcare workers say it's because of the precautions people were practicing due to the pandemic.
In England, they were down at least to 80% or so of the flu and RSV that they were seeing, and we were locally, we had, practically zero.
While the numbers were very low last year, healthcare workers are expecting the exact opposite this year and are preparing accordingly.
Though I will say a lot of people have had cause to stay outside a little bit later into the year thanks to our warm temperatures that look to continue right on through much of the work week. Even today's cold front won't stop them. I-64 at Moorhead, you see we're starting to clear out as that front works its way through the mountains. And we might have had a couple of showers earlier, but those are long gone. Upper 60s into downtown Whitesburg right now. It's a bit of a muggy one out there with those dew point numbers so close to the temperature. You see we're already clearing out in places like London, Somerset, into Monticello, where we're pushing 80 or just at it. And yes, even those areas seeing the cloud cover like Middlesboro into Harlan, they're going to clear out soon enough too, and that will bring us a little bit more warmer temperatures on the way. Pinpoint Doppler out there, it's a clean sweep. That front really had no moisture to work with, and you see even the back edge of the clouds already working out of the mountains except for the far southeastern parts of Kentucky. So we're going to be in good shape as we head through much of the night tonight. So even so, you'll definitely want to keep that WIMT weather app handy because we will be watching a few more shower chances as we head later on into the week. But as for tonight, falling down into those 60s and maybe even a few upper 50s out there in areas that clear out a little bit faster. But we're not done with the clouds, nor are we done with the showers. And I'll have the details on those coming up in just a bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. A year after a man was shot to death inside a central Kentucky home, an arrest has been made. 24-year-old Cameron Thomas is the suspect in the death of Freddie Biggs after police say they believe a burglary went wrong in Richmond last October. They do believe it was an isolated incident and are not commenting on what the relationship between the two was or if they knew each other. Thomas faces a host of charges, including murder and burglary. Police say it's possible more arrests could be made in the case. The Supreme Court heard arguments this morning in a case that centers around a Kentucky law which prohibited how most abortions are performed in the second trimester. That law has already been declared unconstitutional in the lower courts, but Attorney General Daniel Cameron wants to keep defending the case on appeal, and now the justices must decide if he should be allowed to do so. CBS's Natalie Brand is at the Supreme Court with more on that case and a look ahead to other abortion cases the court has agreed to hear.
Anti-abortion demonstrators rallied outside the Supreme Court Tuesday morning. We will abolish abortion. Inside, justices heard arguments about whether Kentucky's Republican Attorney General can appeal lower court rulings striking down a state abortion law even after his Democratic predecessor declined to appeal.
What we as Kentuckians want is a fail-safe that if a state official who enforces state law says, I'm not going to appeal any further, Kentucky's Attorney General can come in for the Commonwealth and say, no, the Commonwealth wants to go farther.
Under Kentucky law, the Attorney General has the authority to decline to defend a statute. The Kentucky Supreme Court has held that. And that is exactly what happened when the Attorney General originally, in this case, declined to defend the statute.
The justices are not considering the constitutionality of the law, leaving the lower court rulings in place. Instead, this case focuses on procedure. Both sides of the abortion issue are looking for any clues as to how far the new 6-3 conservative majority will go in revisiting the landmark Roe v. Wade decision. The justices are scheduled to hear arguments December 1st in a closely watched Mississippi case which bans most abortions after 15 weeks. An appeals court blocked enforcement of the law, saying it's in conflict with Roe v. Wade. And the new Texas law, considered the strictest in the nation, could also come back before the High Court. Natalie Brent, CBS News, the Supreme Court.
The Department of Justice filed a brief with the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals Monday night asking the courts to block the Texas abortion law, saying it is unconstitutional. The court has asked Texas to respond to the DOJ brief no later than Thursday at noon. That keeps the law in effect at least until the appeals court rules. In September, the Supreme Court allowed the law to go into effect without ruling on the constitutionality of the law. Now, we'll have more on the Kentucky case coming up at 5:30 from our Washington, D.C. bureau. The FDA is posting documents from Johnson & Johnson and Moderna ahead of meetings later this week to discuss booster shots of their vaccines. Among the questions the experts are expected to address, how much vaccine should be in the Moderna booster. The drug maker says 50 micrograms, half of what was in the original 2 doses, should be enough. There are also questions on when people should get the Johnson & Johnson booster. Then some wonder, will people be stuck with the vaccine they got first?
I think the FDA will look at this. Can you mix and match? Can you start with J&J and finish with either Moderna or Pfizer? The mix and match issues are also on the table.
The FDA is also considering whether to authorize emergency use for Merck's COVID-19 treatment that comes in a pill. The drug maker says early trials show molnupiravir, aimed at unvaccinated COVID patients with symptoms, cut hospitalizations and deaths by about half. Fewer people are saying they trust President Joe Biden to provide accurate information about COVID-19. A new Axios Ipsos poll published Tuesday asked just more than 1,000 adults earlier this month. 42% said they had a great deal or fair amount of trust in COVID-19 information from the president. That's down 7% from last month. The poll also found more Americans expected to take longer to return to their pre-pandemic life. 30% said they expect it to take more than a year. 24% believe it will happen within 6 months to a year. Those who are fully vaccinated will soon be able to add another location to their travel list, Fiji. An official statement from Fiji's national tourism body announced earlier this week that the country will open its borders to fully vaccinated tourists starting December 1st. However, there are a few other steps they will need to take. Travelers coming to Fiji will need to show proof of being at least 14 days past the time of their second vaccination and will be required to test before and after entering the country. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Tuesday. The Dow closes down today more than 117 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. Elon Musk is teasing Jeff Bezos because of their widening wealth gap. Musk tweeted the Amazon founder a second-place medal on Monday. Musk is the richest man in the world with $222 billion. Bezos follows behind, worth nearly $192 billion. Two companies Musk founded, Tesla and SpaceX, have been growing in value. Educators are urging social media companies to crack down on a new online challenge that dares students to vandalize schools.
And a cold front leads to a couple of showers, but not quite cooler temperatures, at least not yet. I'll have the latest straight ahead.